Greetings, everyone. Well, the PS2 overview continues. This time around, let's take a look at these ones. Today, on the Multimedia Chronicles. I know I forgot to say that last time. Star Wars! Give me the Star Wars! Nothing but Star Wars! A war in the stars! Alright, I'll stop. We are, of course, going to be talking about Star Wars video games for the PS2. This is nowhere near the complete collection. These are just the ones I've been able to find. I actually started collecting the Star Wars games on the PS2 kind of late in the game. So now there's quite a few that I just haven't been able to find. So hopefully I'll be able to track them down at some point. I'm pretty sure I've got most of what people generally consider to be the better ones. So yeah, there's just a few that I want to get that I don't have yet. So anyway, let's start here in sort of no particular order. First off, we got Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. Or sorry, Starfighter. Jedi Starfighter is the one I don't have. That's the sequel, and apparently is a little bit better. This one isn't bad. It's got the one thing that I like about the Star Wars games is they have really cool cinematic sequences. If there's one thing Lucasfilm knows how to do, or LucasArts, sorry, is its cinematic sequences. I mean, they look like they could be scenes right out of the movie a lot of the time, and this one is no exception. It's got some great cinematic sequences. But yeah, essentially this one you train to be a pilot, and there you go. And it's set in the prequel era. It's a fairly competent shooter. I actually wasn't able to finish this. I got all the way through it, right to the end, and the last guy was just so frickin' hard that I eventually just gave up in frustration. Yeah, I suck, I know. But anyway, if you're looking for if you like to, get your hands dirty with some outer space shoot 'em up action in the Star Wars universe, you can't go wrong with Starfighter. I mean, it's a pretty competent shooter that will, for the most part, make you feel like you're a part of the movie world, which is pretty cool. And there you go, nice full color manual. Yeah, so anyway, one of these days I do want to pick up Jedi Starfighter to have the full duology, and I understand it's a little bit better of a game anyway. And I'll probably play this one again, actually, just because I like to play through the Star Wars games every once in a while, because I enjoy the stories, of course, and I like the action in them. Okay, next one. I got a very used copy of this one. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Now, of all the prequel games, I think this one is generally considered to be one of the best. At least it's one of my favorites. Because, this one I didn't get instructions with it, and it's in a rental case. It's not even a proper PS2 case. Yeah, if I ever find a nicer copy of this, I'll definitely grab it. But this basically tells the story of Jango Fett prior to the events of Episode 2. It essentially gives a whole, almost complete backstory to Jango Fett, and it ends, without giving away the story of the game, it ends essentially with him making the deal with Dooku to be the template for the clone army and such. So over the course of the story, you find out where he gets Slave 1 from, and all kinds of cool stuff. So it's just the story really took me in this one, and this one it's a third-person actioner. Sorry, I should say that right away. But the story really, really engrossed me in this one, and the gameplay is pretty slick too. I mean, you really, the controls are very well laid out and easy to get the hang of, and you really feel like you are Jango Fett, and it's great. And the levels themselves, like the worlds that it takes place in, are quite sizable, and you can go back and forth. You're not like pushed forward like you are in a lot of games, so you can explore around as much as you want, and take your time to take out the enemies and whatnot. But it's great stuff. I mean, if you're a fan of the the Mandalorians like I am, you really can't go wrong with Bounty Hunter. It's a great game, and the only one I can think of that really makes you feel like you're one of the Fett family. And it does have what's his face, the guy who plays Django in the movies. It does have him doing the voice as well, which is pretty cool. Oh, and what's his face? Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown actually does the voice of your nemesis in this. Another bounty hunter by the name of Montrose. Basically, the story concerns both Django and Montrose have been contracted by Dooku to fulfill a particular contract, and whoever succeeds will get the additional contract of being the template for the clone army. So essentially, Dooku's looking for the best bounty hunter in the universe, and Django and Montrose are the number 1 and 2 on his list. So whoever gets it gets to be the template of a clone army. Now that's not really giving anything away because we know how that turns out, but yeah. Anyway, this gives you a really good backstory to Django, which I enjoy. That's one I enjoy replaying fairly often, actually, because I enjoy the gameplay and I enjoy the story. And here we have Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Now this one I have not actually played too much, but essentially what this does is this puts you right in the thick of some of the most notable battles from the Clone Wars. Now this predates the cartoon, and it predates the current cartoon. Like it predates the miniseries cartoon, and it predates the other one, the current series. So this is like an entirely different take on the Clone Wars. A little more realistic and such. But it's pretty cool. You get to play as a lot of notable characters from the prequel trilogy. You get to play Mace Windu in a few spots and stuff like that. You get to pilot a lot of the different vehicles. You get to play Obi-Wan, and you get to play this is one of the few games that puts you. Well, I guess no, a lot of the games do that, but this is one of the games that basically puts you in the shoes of the main characters from the story. So that's pretty cool. But it's good. I mean, it's a pretty solid third-person actioner. It does have some first-person modes. I found some of the controls in this a little bit awkward, and that was, I think, why I didn't play it as much as I played some of the other ones. But overall, not a bad game. It's definitely one of the better games based on the prequels. And then we have Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, what many people consider to be the all-time greatest Star Wars games ever. Now, these ones... this is actually what I was thinking of when I was talking about Clone Wars and kind of messed up. These ones you don't usually play the main characters. You play like troops and soldiers and whatnot, just the cannon fodder characters. But you do the best you can. And what this does is this puts you right in the middle of some of the most notable battles from all the way across the entire 6-episode movie saga of the movies. Movie saga of the movies. Yeah, that makes sense. But these are just so much fun. You can go third person, first person. You can pilot vehicles and stuff. This one, a lot of people prefer because this included the starships, so you can fly X-Wings, TIE Fighters, and any number of other ships and whatnot. This one was all ground-based. But honestly, I mean, I think they're both excellent. I mean, they both got great levels. I've actually played this one more than this one, simply because I found some of the space battles a little too complicated to maneuver around and not get killed in 2 seconds. Taking on a Star Destroyer with like a TIE Fighter or something, it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. But it does introduce a lot more strategy elements to it, because you have to, for example, in this one, if you want to take out a larger ship with a smaller ship, you take your smaller ship, dodge around the lasers and everything, fly into the hangar bay, take out all the guys in the hangar bay, rush off to the engine room, plant bombs in the engine room, then rush back to your ship and fly out of there before it blows up. So it's actually pretty cool. It does have a very cinematic feel, and these ones you really, totally, 100% feel like you're in the movies. I mean, it just puts you in that world, and I think that's why a lot of people enjoy them so much. It really captures the essence of what makes Star Wars awesome. So if you're only ever going to buy 2 Star Wars games in your entire life, make it these two. You will not be disappointed. They're so much fun. And, you know, a lot of people I've talked to are saying, like, hey, where's the next-gen sequel? Where's a Battlefront 3 for the, you know, the PS3 and the Xbox 360? Like, come on, give us high-def Battlefront. It's what we want. You know, what would be nice is if they repackaged these two on a single disc for the current systems and then gave us a sequel. You know, sort of like what they did with God of War, but with Star Wars Battlefront. How awesome would that be? Play these in high def? Come on. You know you want that. You know you want it. So there you go. My Star Wars PS2 video game collection. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. A lot of hours of entertainment here. Especially with stuff like Battlefront. I mean, you can just play these over and over and over again. I mean, there's no... You can go on campaigns and missions and whatnot, but you can just keep revisiting your favorite battles over and over again. And, you know, let's see what happens if the Empire wins. Let's see what happens if the Rebels win. You know, whatever. You can play as either side, and it's just so much fun. So much fun. Anyway, that's it from me to you for now. So see you next time when we continue the PS2 video game overview. Yeah, so until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.